Welcome to the Whiskey Roundtable. We are your hosts.
Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
And I'm Albert Santilli.
We got Albert back again.
Oh God, it's Albert Santilli III again.
Come on, Siri. He hasn't been here in a long time. So
give him a break.
Yeah,
hide your underwear.
It's been actually. When was the last time you were on the show? It's been quite some time.
It might have been one of the old Scotch months that we covered with a Glen Ross Maker's Cut.
Oh, okay.
You've been on since the beginning of the year, haven't you?
I think
so.
I thought we had him in like February, March somewhere.
It's hard to say. I know we hang out, but I don't do a lot of cameos, so it's good to be back. Nevertheless. So.
All right.
And you've had some big changes too since we last saw you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, married now. This is what I look like.
The newlywed.
Married.
So how's the
married with children?
How's the wedded bliss? How's that going?
It's not. I mean, yeah. There's pluses and minuses. Giving up the responsibilities of the household. She's good, man. I love her.
My father always said, if the honeymoon lasts longer than the marriage, you're doing well.
Yeah, we'll be all right. It's all good.
God love her.
Yeah.
So, G, what show is this?
This is the 22nd show.
It's the 23rd show.
That's what I
but you're
said, the
getting-
23rd.
Yeah, there you go. I know it's one of those.
Man, it's like
topics
speeding
that-
by. Slow down,
right.
son. Slow down.
Steve Williams says, "Hey Albert, he's listening from
Yep.
Oklahoma
He's at
tonight."
Mom and Dad's
All
house
right.
today.
Hey, Steve. What's up?
What's up, dog? Is Mom and Dad watching, Steve?
It's Scotch month, right? I keep saying, I think you guys said this on this last Scotch
Yeah.
show, but Steve taught me how to properly taste Scotch.
Really?
Really?
Explaining to me, at the ungodly hour, like 3:30
Steve
a.m.
can't
on the
even
porch.
spell Scotch. He's telling you how to.
Let the
Right.
Scotch roll over on the tongue, just sip on it. Really good. It was a different world, so yeah, I enjoy drinking Scotch. It's good to be back on.
That's
Yeah.
when Steve was doing money at the dancing club. But anyway, that's a different story.
That's a different
But-
Steve. Got you back, Steve.
That's a visual you don't want to have. Oh my goodness, I tell ya. So, Wizard, any words of wisdom for us today?
Oh, words of wisdom.
Wow.
Build a man a fire, and he's warm for a day. Set him on fire, and he's warm for the rest of his life. I don't know.
Wow, that's Steve.
So
Steve.
there's your wisdom.
So, anybody cares, but I'm smoking a Padron cigar.
Oh yeah, we
Nice.
forgot to ask
That's
you.
okay, and
Looks like you've been smoking it for a while.
I have.
Those are like $20 sticks, or some of them can get up there. It's a great smoke. It's one of my favorite cigars.
Yep.
So what was the one the Padron that you had during the?
That was a 40th anniversary, I believe it was.
Yeah, that looked like a good one.
That was with tax $40-some. That was a great cigar.
Yeah.
And that V was another one that was $30-some, I think, with tax. Those were big dollar cigars.
I'm not breaking any rules just by
No,
doing
do your
right?
thing, man.
Yeah,
That's why you're
we're
here.
just hanging out. Yeah, this is just not anything features. Just some whiskey.
Listen, it's just
Some
like
whiskey.
it's just like we're
We're
not
the
doing
whiskey
a radio
round
show.
table, and that's
Not
whiskey.
Scotch,
Damn it!
but,
So.
yeah. I didn't even know it was Scotch month. I would have worn my my custom.
Oh, you would have worn
suit,
your
my plaid
custom
suit.
suit.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
It's Scotch.
nephews actually.
It's a little hot to be coming out in a suit though, but
It's
Amen.
cool down here in the studio. I dig it.
So, so I see you brought your Italian leather suede pipe.
Yeah, okay, so, usually you ask, like, what we're smoking or something. I've been
Sure.
following some of the shows since I've been on, and I guess I could talk about this. This is a great pipe that I found recently. I picked it up at my my local tobacco shop. It's a Savinelli. It's Italian. I almost went with the Peterson pipe. They make a nice model, too. It's like one of the oldest tobacco shops in Ireland, Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Peaty, shout out to the Peed whiskey.
Yeah.
Scotch. But I like to see how it feels first.
Mm-hmm.
See how it, before you buy it. Really, there's a lot of craftsmanship involved with these things.
Sure.
And what I like, this is also really, really cool because I've owned many pipes in the past.
Sure.
This one is the first one ever that's had
The filter.
a filter, which I'm not hip to. So it comes with a little wooden filter. You change them out after the first 2 or 3
It's
smokes.
wooden. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a little V shaped. It kind of looks like this. It's the exact size and shape of not size, but
Yeah.
shape.
you change it out after the first 2 or 3.
2 or 3 smokes, it's ready to be changed. So
And you have
it's
to
almost
keep
there.
changing it after every 2 or 3.
I would recommend after 3 smokes.
Yeah, and that'll get a lot of the tar.
Tar.
It'll grab. I mean, my father smoked cigars and pipes for years. I have all of his, which
Yep.
I have all of my father's pipe stuff, and so they used to have paper filters in some of his as
Okay.
well, but it was
So-
basically to keep that tar from getting into your mouth. So
Make sure there's no nicks. There's no imperfections in the wood. See how it feels. And then lastly, sounds crazy, but I recommend actually smelling the pipe too
Sure.
before you buy it. To make sure, because if there's anything like chemically wrong with it or chemicals, maybe it's a manufacturing defect or something, and but that's before you smoke it. Once you smoke out of the pipe, I've never heard of a place ever accepting stuff to go back to it. So before I light this up, I really wanted to feature enough about the pipe. I really wanted to talk about this blend that I found. So a Latvia, Scandinavian blend. There's a lot of Latvia here. It's a blend which is by Peterson. It used to be like Dunhill,
right.
but now it's Peterson's called Nightcap Tobacco. If you can find it at your local shop, I highly recommend
A
this
lot
thing.
of places don't offer it anymore.
Very strong. Smells like a campfire.
It's
like,
very nice.
It's normally.
Oh my God! I mean, that smells like an Isla whiskey right there.
I feel like I'm like kind of like a douche
Yeah.
if I'm smoking these in public. So I don't smoke my
Why?
pipe in public that much. But if I do, if you catch me on like a wedding or something like a fancy event,
That is Scotch.
9
That's
times out of 10
I
I'm
know.
smoking.
It smells like exactly tonight's theme is Isla whiskey.
But it's a non-flavored tobacco. That's the key. That's what it's interesting about this. Normally, if you see me out there in public, I'm usually smoking something nice and pleasant, like it smells like baked cookies,
right.
vanilla,
some type of
Cherry, all
soaked
that stuff.
tobacco.
Sure.
This is not. It's just it's a.
Well, you know what it smells like? They've
Nightcap.
cured it with peat smoke because that's
Yeah,
one of the
very well could be
one of the
cured.
things they do with tobacco is they can
Man,
smoke cure it. So-
Whatever it is, I cannot say enough good things about this nightcap tobacco.
Smells
It's,
really good.
Every muscle in your body just relax. It's recommended to like smoke before bedtime and just relax after a day. So
And we don't always think about it, but Scandinavia also has plenty of reserves of peat. So, and they're starting to make peated whiskeys. Actually, some good ones are starting to come out of Scandinavia. So,
So
that's
did-
probably. I mean, that's maybe what that is.
it's like
Nice.
you guys. We've had many fires here. We
Yeah,
all
sure,
hang out and
absolutely.
have open a bottle sometimes and drink responsibly around the fire and hang out with basically the same mechanisms happens inside your pipe, your briar pipe, or whatever pipe you're smoking. It's just if you take the hot coals underneath the fire and you take the fire and flip it upside down, that's basically what's happening. It heats from the top to the bottom. You get a nice smoke. It's very relaxing.
Do you taste that same flavor that we smell when you're smoking that?
I
Yeah,
smell
again,
it
it's
over here.
non-flavored in my estimation. I get a lot of pepper out of it, like but it's very enjoyable. It's tasty. I always like to have a little bit of this nightcap on me.
Seems like it would go good with the scotch.
What's that, Elliot?
Is that lit now?
Yep.
Yeah, smell it.
It's getting there.
It
yeah.
smells good. Awesome.
So Jennifer Boggs has weighed in, and she's asking if Ron is here. Not sure which Ron she's referring to, but she got herself a flying pig cigar store guy. Didn't think I could handle it, but he was wrong. So not sure exactly what that means, but
So they probably had some back and forth last week. Ron is who made the Whiskey Roundtable
oh
plaque
right,
on the
right,
wall over there.
okay. And then she's sipping some Maker's Mark tonight, Stave
Awesome.
Collection from a
Nice.
local store, and she's traveling, so she's not in Ohio. So
Gotcha.
that's probably why she was able to obtain something good at the store.
Yes. But I have been watching on the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. Few people have come out with the Basil Hayden's Toasted. Have you heard
Right.
anything about
No.
that?
You've heard about it or you've had it?
No, I've never had it, but
Uh-huh.
I've heard it.
I was just curious how, that compares to
You know,
maybe like the
toasted-
Michter's or something.
Yeah, Michter's Toasted, they do a great job with that. No ifs, ands, or buts. I had I believe it was the Elijah Craig Toasted. It was tasted like nothing. Was not happy with that. But, I've only had a couple of different toasted bottles, so to say.
So what does
But-
toasted mean?
It's the barrel. Toasted
Well, because
barrel.
most
Very
barrels are
light.
toasted
Very light
and
char.
then they're charred.
Right.
So does that mean they only toasted it and didn't char it? Well, I don't.
No, I mean I was always told a charred barrel is you have 4 or 5 different.
Yeah, but
chars.
toasting is a separate
But-
process. Mm-hmm. They put it in oven. They put it in
Right,
an oven and they
right.
heat it for a certain
And
amount
then
of
they
time.
char it up.
And then they take it out of
Char
the
it.
oven and then they char it. Yeah.
Right.
So-
So, but I Basil Hayden is Jim Beam product, and that I was surprised for them to come out with that, to be honest with you. But I don't know. We'll get one eventually. See what it is.
Yeah, there was something else that was out in Ohio too that usually doesn't come out. Willet. I saw somebody
Yeah, will it? Yeah.
had found some Willet in Ohio. So
But I think I could be wrong, and that's fine. But I think the Willets were only released down southern Ohio.
fuckers.
But I don't know that to be true. But that's
Well,
kinda
Jen
how-
will be in Cincinnati at some point soon.
Yeah, Jen, get off your
So-
ace.
Come on,
Yeah.
girl, get us some nut skins.
All
Let's go.
right.
We have plenty of Willet here.
But yeah, I think maybe tomorrow I'll go do some running at our secret places and see if I can find anything.
Mm-hmm.
Get something new. I know we're always looking for.
I'll call my boy
Different
Chad,
stuff.
see what he's got.
But yeah.
Yeah,
Cool beans.
awesome. That smells amazing.
It does smell really
I love
good.
it. I love it. I mean,
Hope
it's,
you're gonna smoke some more
Well,
of that. Too.
hey, since we're before we move on,
You got the ganja in there too, or no?
No, yeah, it was that for those of you who were there last
You
night. I
mentioned
saw.
sativa.
I know
it's
your
like-
eyes are getting a little slanted.
Hey, the nightcap, man. This is so you like the heavier, the Maduro,
Yeah.
heavier,
Yeah.
thicker ring gauge cigars. You know, this
660.
is the same thing. It's a very strong tobacco that kind of puts you in your chair.
Sure.
So for the experienced smoke, I highly recommend the nightcap pipe tobacco. And at any rate, yeah, last night I saw J-Rad. That's short for Joe Russo's Almost Dead. That's a Grateful Dead cover band.
Okay.
But you know, it's a little smoky there. It was my wife's first big concert. You know, she did stayed as long as we could. She did a pretty okay job.
So you went in round eye, came out slant eye, huh?
But you know what? Being the well-productive, impressionable citizen of society that I am, I showed up to work the next day right on time.
That's
good
what I'm
job.
talking about.
All right. Well, there's.
But he didn't tell you the rest of the stories.
What's that?
He forgot his keys. He had to go back home, so he came in an hour late.
No, but I will tell you this funny story. I had I fuck with the Mexicans, man. I respect Mexicans. I used to live next door to a Mexican who was getting up on his roof. He fell off a ladder next door to me. This motherfucker, he woke up at 8:01 the next day. He was limping, but he showed up like a motherfucker.
He fell off the roof.
Uh,
Wow.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
he was cleaning the first floor window.
Easy. My wife's watching the show probably.
Oh
my
my
gosh.
goodness! All right, enough of my sarcasm.
No, it's never enough. We were
People were pissed. He stepped on.
What do you
road.
expect? This is the Whiskey Roundtable.
Yeah,
you
well.
demand.
Oh my goodness!
Well, so we were out last night with a friend of ours, Rawhide Firearms,
Rawhide Firearms
Mark Nicastro.
bought another
One of our
AR.
sponsors, as a matter of fact.
Bought another
Absolutely.
Greg, you bought an AR?
AR Smith and Wesson M&P.
We were out with him and Matt Souza, which
Long
we had a great time.
Nice.
Show it to me later.
And they love your sarcasm.
They love my sarcasm.
And they love your jokes in the beginning. You
Yeah.
know?
Oh, good.
Thanks, I know.
That's a few people anyway.
That was two. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Two,
both.
I'm
Don't
counting.
don't get carried
Count,
away,
listen, I'm
wizard.
counting.
All both
You're getting
of
a
your
big
friends.
head over that.
Intruder alert.
Okay, all right.
What does that say?
What does that say?
Intruder alert.
Oh.
Intruder alert.
Don't you have one asshole alert? Don't you have one of those?
I just no,
You got to have that too.
I don't.
Where is
have,
it?
I don't have that exactly.
I'm not a proctologist, but I know an asshole when I see one.
Amen. Amen.
I like the bar flag down here.
No,
It's good to be back. It's good to
Did
be
you
back.
do you see our new one? We got wash
Yeah.
balls here.
Launch balls here. Mm-hmm.
That's because Greg always ends up on the ball washer when he goes golfing.
Yeah.
I'm going this
I don't want to be
weekend.
sweaty
I'm
when I'm
doing some
running for
golfing.
9. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
On a Scotch month, didn't the Scots start that sport?
Yeah. Yeah.
I brought a bunch of balls because I'll probably lose them all.
That's why I gave up.
Yeah, I get to where I have to take 20, 30 with me every round. So. Well, I haven't played in years, but
So what else
That's-
what else we got on the scroll, kids?
Kayla joined us,
What's up, Kayla?
Kayla, she says, "Hey,
Hey.
and Jen says that she's going to be heading back to Ohio tomorrow. Then she's going to Cincy, which Cincy is in Ohio, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like it isn't. But and then she's off to California.
Oh.
Me too.
Okay.
What part?
Yeah, what part, Jen? Where
Send
are you
it in
going?
if you're going to San Diego.
that's the best part anymore."
Oh, Jen says there's always a Goodwill store nearby to buy an extra suitcase, and you can check 6 bottles on the plane.
That's what I'm
All
talking
right.
about. Jen, I want you to see if you find that what was it? Toasted Basil Hayden.
And the Willet? No, the Willet. Which one?
I have pot. I have like 4 or 5 pot.
This isn't the pot. This is the
The genie bottle.
no. It's just the regular bottle. It looks like the Eagle Rare bottle.
Oh, okay. We have that here too. There's a different. We have a
All
couple
right.
different.
So, is it time to move on to our whiskey
Yeah,
for
let's
the
get to
night?
the
Oh yeah, I guess.
Why don't we
should do
start
that.
out by taking a ride on the bottle cam?
You ready? Put your seatbelt on, folks.
Hey everyone, it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
Whoa. Damn, he's got named up or something. Push it until the other.
I mean, the actual vowel doesn't make it not
Very nice.
Okay.
All right. Woo,
We're
you
back.
can take your
I know.
seatbelt off
I know.
now,
You
dear.
can take your seatbelts off. Here we go. So, yeah, we're talking about Laphroaig 10, and it's not just Laphroaig 10, it's the cask strength. So,
120.2.
just
proof
gotta
is.
say, for me, I'm very excited about this whiskey. When Greg suggested it would be one of the ones we'd have during Scotch Whiskey Month, I was very excited. So, I gotta say, I'm very much looking forward to this.
Thanks to my brother Steve. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve, and
Thank you, Uncle Steve.
You know that's what I do.
Steve, 216. 216.
216.
Yeet. Big E.
I'm sure Karen's going to tell us all about it, though.
Sure, I got a little bit here. So 1815, as you saw on the bottle, is when the two brothers, Donald and Alexander Johnson, leased 1,000 acres from or in Isla, and they wanted to rear cattle, but in order to raise cattle, you had to grow barley. So they thought, well, what am I going to do? What are we going to do with the surplus barley? So they said, hey, there's only one thing to do: distill whiskey, right?
That's right.
So
It's much better than rearing cattle.
The farmer wanted to rear cattle.
You gotta watch, they might kick you.
You got to be careful.
there's a joke there, and I just can't think fast
yeah,
enough.
leave it alone.
It's been
Go
a
ahead.
long week.
Smell like cologne, leave it alone. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so yes, it did become more profitable for them to distill whiskey rather than raising cattle. So 1815 is the year that Laphroaig was officially born.
All right.
So the two brothers, Donald offered his brother Alexander 350 pounds for his share of Laphroaig, and he wanted to emigrate over to Australia, so he took off and left Donald there to man the distillery. But he only was there until 1847 because, as the story goes, I believe he fell into a vat of partially made whiskey and died.
Oh my God! Really?
With a
Well,
smile-
but you know
smile
what?
on his face.
He did get up and go to the bathroom once before he...
Let's hope he got out of the vat before he did that.
Oh,
crazy
my
story.
goodness.
True.
So, at the time, Donald's only heir was 11 years old. His son, and I'm going to screw this up, Dugald, D-U-G-A-L-D.
That's right. Dugald.
Okay, he was only 11 years old, so obviously too young to take over the distillery, so his uncle stepped in and started taking over. About 10 years later, when he's 21, he was old enough to start taking the distillery over. What's really unusual about this is, and it's funny because when we're talking Scotch whiskey, I always think Laphroaig and I think Lavagulin. And it's just the L's and my limited
Yeah.
knowledge of Scottish whiskey. But they went back and forth for so long fighting over the distillery.
Scotch whiskey, the Isla Whiskey Wars.
Yes. So
Lagavulin.
Lagavulin. See, I was going to say Laphroaig, and I knew it was wrong. But Mackey and Company basically was fighting to take over Laphroaig, and back and forth for probably 50 years or so. They fought back and forth.
Fell into a vat.
Here,
What did you say
I
about
got an
no
extra
talking?
one.
Okay. I'm going to throw another one. This time I'm going to hit you.
Don't hit the camera.
Yeah, I know. I was trying not to. But
You hit a fan instead.
I hit a fan. Literally hit a fan instead.
Instead of the fan. But anyway.
So, anyways, what's his name? Peter Mackey was part of Mackey and Company, and he decided that it was getting too expensive to try to fight Laphroaig. So he decided he was going over to Lavagul, and he built an exact copy of the Laphroaig still, and he was hoping to create a duplication of Laphroaig, but it never really happened, even though he used the same water. What is it, the Kilcane River?
Okay, now you
Something
got
like
me.
that.
I don't really know on that one.
Messed that up. I didn't write it down. It's right here in my head, which is why I don't have it right, I'm sure. But it never really worked out. So you've got your Laphroaig, you've got your Lavagulin, two different things. So Laphroaig went on to become worldwide. It started with the Scandinavians, which kind of goes with the tobacco you were talking about. They were some of the earliest Islay settlers. So it went over there. They then exported to Latin America, Europe, Canada. They wanted to get into America, so the owner at the time sat down. Right? The owner at the time sat down with the U.S. Customs agents, and they shared a dram or two, or 3 or 4. And after that, they were agreed to bring in Laphroaig into the United States. So after they drank some,
And I'm so happy that did
bring it
happen.
all in. Yeah, I know. This is one of your favorites.
It's up there. Yeah, there's,
It's amazing.
we've
how we go
talked
from
about it, but
water to
I'm
this.
I'm a big fan of Islay, and that's kind of what this show is dedicated to.
Magic potion.
Islay Scotch whiskey. So I think it's probably 3 of my top 5 whiskeys come from Islay.
So did you hear about the Friends of Laphroaig? You should join that.
No, I have heard that before, but I haven't really done that.
So it was came about in 1994, and members are granted a lifetime lease of 1 square foot of the Laphroaig land.
Isn't that kind of like what Jack Daniels does?
Yeah, Jack Daniels, and you were talking about that. I thought you were talking about that last week or the week before.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, go ahead.
The royalty is you get a dram a year, but you have to go to the distillery to actually cash
That's
in.
fine. I can deal with that.
That
Once a year, get a drink, come home.
You can also
It's
sleep
a good
standing
excuse.
up.
Well, I gotta go. I mean,
1 square foot.
That's right.
I got my obligation here.
So you need to become a
Yeah,
Friends
okay,
of
I'm
Laphroaig.
gonna do that.
So
I want to be their friend.
yes, I know you do. So as you mentioned, this is the 10-year cask strength. And what is cask strength? So it's a whiskey that hasn't been diluted after it's stored in the cask. And they typically range anywhere from 52 to 66% alcohol. This one is right in there at 60.1 or 120.2
Wow!
proof.
An Islay that is 100.
It's unheard of.
It's okay. I'm so excited.
I'm scared, actually.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yes. You are gender bourgeois and Pablo.
Yeah.
It is aged in 10 years of ex-bourbon barrels.
Perfect.
And what they say, and maybe we want to try this later, and in extreme temperatures, hot or cold, or if you add water, it becomes a little cloudy. And this is the condition of what happens with the peated whiskeys. And adding a little water releases a rich aroma of peat smoke with some sweetness and strong hints of the sea.
I did read some reviews, and they did say this is definitely one that a few drops of spring water are helpful. And that's not always the case, but this whiskey is so concentrated that really opens up the flavors.
Yeah, at 120, you probably need a little water.
Right,
huh?
because when the proof gets to a certain point, it can close off some of those compounds, as everybody remembers from the chemistry episode of the Whiskey Wizard we
right.
did last year. So,
All right.
of course they do.
Of course.
It's amazing what you can do with a few carbon and hydrogen.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, kids.
You
Do
wanna
we
pass
want
it
to
out?
try this?
Yeah. Albert grabbed them too.
Okay.
It's yours.
Shank you.
Oh, yeah, I got a couple scotches here tonight.
Thank you, Albert.
10
All
years.
right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's mine.
All right, I'm so
Pass it over to Sean
psyched
when
for
you're ready.
this.
Delicious.
You know, my palate has really grown to appreciate Scotch, but I'm afraid of this one.
Well, I think with good reason, but we'll take it easy. And then, if it is too much for you, then I do recommend you try the little bit of water in it. Probably some. Do we have any still water, G?
We do.
I do upstairs.
No, there's one right
Oh.
there behind you.
That's not distilled though. It's just
Still, I mean, just
Oh,
still,
still,
not
I'm
not
sorry.
carbonated. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Bless you.
baby.
Bless you.
Did you
Oh,
smell
we'll
it?
get There.
Did you nose it?
Is that why you sneezed?
Oh, okay. That's why I thought you sneezed.
I gave him a
A
little
lot
bit.
of
I was
lot
like,
of,
uh-oh.
a lot of scotches, tend to favor more of a gold color, but this definitely is got
Very
a lot more of
amberish.
the amber than you
Oh,
typically
wow.
see. Yeah,
That's nice.
that nose is just.
It's amazing. There's a lot going on.
I get a little
Yeah.
smoke. I get a little honey. You get your vanilla.
But frankly, I'm not getting as much peat as I thought. I
no,
was
me
gonna
neither.
get.
A little caramel.
You have some?
I got smoke right off the bat.
Yeah, I get
It's
some
not,
smoke out of it,
Not
definitely.
from the tobacco
Right.
in here.
Yeah.
Very distinct.
I got sweet.
Yeah, I'm getting.
And I'll
I'm,
say tobacco as well,
Yeah,
since you brought that
agreed.
I'm getting some like malt and orange,
up. Yeah.
Some
Yeah, I
kind of
could
orange.
get orange out of there for sure.
and there's just a little bit of brine or seaweed, something like that in there.
That's beyond my palate.
Steve says, "Get ready, big
You okay?
boy. It packs a punch."
Oh, I'm gonna bet.
I do. I get the tobacco. Definitely strong.
Really, really nice legs to it too. If anyone notices.
Oh yeah, look at that. I can see through
that?
your
It's beautiful
glass
right
at the
there.
light.
All
Yeah.
the way around too.
It's
Yeah.
like a
Very
nice
consistent.
even set.
Yeah, it just you can see exactly where the fluid level was. Wow, that's
What's the ABV again? I'm sorry.
it's 120
20
proof.
Wow.
120.2.
Do you have some? Yeah. His eyes are watering.
You okay over there?
What
You
happened to
want
our
some water?
bottle? Oh, it's over.
He's got water.
I haven't gone in yet.
Me neither.
No, I haven't either. I'm still nosing because.
So we'll have to put the bottle back on the table before we do the bottle count.
Yes.
Woo. So, anyone else want to take a stab at some of the notes before I read
sir.
them?
No, I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, I said vanilla. I said orange.
Yep.
I get some seaweed. Obviously, there's peat, but I don't get as much
Peat.
as I thought I was gonna get.
No.
I
That's
get-
what always scares me about. I shouldn't say scares me. Always, it's funny. Like what you nose and what you drink, you
Yeah.
know, is always different. Every once in a while, you get the same, but that's usually on lighter,
Yeah, exactly.
lighter, proof, so to say. But
Speaking of nose, and I don't normally do this, but I bring it out on special occasion. I heard you sneeze over there. I think Elliot got into some of my snuff.
I think you do.
This actually, it's not too popular in the U.S., but it's from England by the McChrystals. And then I'll stop talking about tobacco. But
No, you're fine.
it's a great powdered tobacco, and I think it started in Scotland. I don't know if you're
Could be,
familiar with this,
could
because
be.
if you think about the terrain and the hills, it's rainy and windy in Scotland, so oftentimes they couldn't smoke a pipe.
So
It's not
trying to light something
or a
is
cigar
hard
pipe. It's not so they
in
they
the
have
rain
powdered
and the
tobacco.
wind.
So I let this sit for a
That's
little
the
bit.
etiquette on your hand in the snuff box, and for the show, that's how it's done.
I've had snuff before, but never that
It's
I
good. Way too.
that I inhaled
Surprisingly,
that
if
way.
you want to try it, it's
No,
good.
yeah.
It's
And it
not
doesn't
really-
make you sneeze at all.
Well, you
Never
hope,
saw white snuff. But
Take a
that's
little
okay.
bit. It's Mom, it's not. I suppose. They're talking about cocaine.
Oh,
Something else
boy.
they do down in Kentucky.
That certainly doesn't suck.
Okay.
All right, so on the nose, sweet cereal with biscuit notes, fresh oak,
Yeah, there's
smoked,
a
smoked cedar,
Okay.
honey,
Mm-hmm.
Amsterdam
Try it.
pipe tobacco, shoe polish,
What?
old leather,
maybe leather. I
Oh wait,
Yeah.
this isn't snuff. It's shoe polish. Grab the wrong tin.
Or your nose is black.
a touch of waxy church candle. Boy, these are very unique. Vanilla cream, nutmeg, and oak extracts.
I can go with some of those.
I tell you, I've let it sit for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But now I get nothing but, I should say nothing. I don't get, it's not overpowering. I definitely get smoke out of it now.
Yep.
You know, that's funny because I was thinking that I get a little peat, but I don't get any smoke.
Yeah, but now I let mine sit.
Oh, really?
Now that's what I'm getting is smoke out of it.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking on the palate, it's got to come through something better. So,
All right.
are we ready to try?
Yeah, let's try,
Okay.
kids.
All right,
So scared.
You ready?
I'm gonna have to do waste the first taste and then get serious here.
Wow. Wow.
Boy, it's not disappointing me.
No.
And this is okay. That was my like
Peat's hidden.
throwaway sip. Now this is the real deal.
When you taste it, the peat comes out.
Yeah. I get a lot of I get heat, but not terrible heat.
Not for 120. Wow.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
amazing.
It's quick.
Yeah.
I will say, what is that stuff? The
It's a-
chloroseptic you spray in
Yeah,
your throat,
yeah.
and it kind of
Yeah.
numbs your tongue a little bit. I have that same
You know,
feeling
when we
after
were hanging
drinking
out,
this.
and I might be totally wrong on this, so correct me if I'm off base, but we were, I think Doug and I, we tasted the Balvenie one time late at night. I
Yeah.
forget which kind, but I dare to say that this leaves the Balvenie in the rearview mirror, man. This is
Oh,
amazing.
Look, I'm, I don't want, I'm not going to score just yet, but I get like, with everything that's going on here, I still get some like light orchard fruit, honey, it's not, I'm not getting just totally blown away with peat and smoke. I get some of the smoky char, but for the most part, I'm getting a lot of softer flavors, honey, and like I said, like
Yes, to
pear,
peat. That's what I meant when I said it's
pear,
hidden.
malt.
Peat's sort of hidden
Yeah.
until you taste. Like
It's kind of a long finish. I definitely get the smoke, the peat, honey for sure. And the pepper. I'm gonna say tobacco or leather on the palate.
Yeah.
And
More than I got on the. I got a hint of it on the nose, but
believe it or not, it's very sweet.
It is very sweet.
So maybe
For,
that's what you're talking about cereal or whatever, but you definitely get that sugar out of it, so to say.
for an Isla whiskey,
Brown sugar or
this
baking
is
spice.
softer and sweeter, and
Very
120 proof. It's just hard for me to believe that the way this is drinking.
So
That's very good.
I read
I like it.
I read the palette ahead of time,
Good.
and it's a sweet campfire kind of thing. So it reminds me of roasting marshmallows, and that is one of the.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is some.
That's
Some
maybe
of
like
that
the
marsh-
sweet and smoky.
If you figure if you just eat the skin off a marshmallow that's been properly toasted, you get a little bit of that in here too. It's exquisite, I gotta say.
That's very good.
I don't want
For
to
120
jump too far ahead.
For
but
120.2, it's really good.
It is.
It
It is
really
really
Hey,
good.
this is
I'm not a Scotch guy. and I'll
it's
tell you
climbing the charts on my favorite whiskeys right
Awesome.
Uh-oh.
That's really good.
now. I gotta tell you, definitely
climbing the charts or shards.
Sharks.
charts.
Is that what he said?
The
Okay.
sharks. Who gets the sharks?
I will say I'm not after tasting it. I was more afraid of the thought of it than the actual taste of it. I actually like it,
I thought you were going to. I just
which is really crazy.
Should we
your taste has been
should we
developed.
bottle it up or what?
Should we,
I'm
I would
gonna-
like to try just a hint of the water with it, like you.
Yeah, the spring water. I'd like
So
heard you
did
guys.
it make
Maybe
it
a half
cloudy?
a cap is probably about.
That's what
right.
I did. Half
Yeah.
the cap. That's all I did.
It's also been a while since I've been on the show. Remind me what the voting scale is again. Is there do you
1
know?
to 5. 5 is the best you could. That's your top.
Okay.
4 means I really have to have this on my shelf
Okay.
at all times. It's kind of it's something I want to have at all times. And then you go from there. Well, most of our things score in the 3s, but
It's
But,
toned down the smoke a little bit for me.
yeah.
It's
Has
toned
it?
down the
wanna
smoke,
try?
but it's still there. It's still right there.
The water will often open up more flavors and notes.
Did it become more cloudy? I'm just
No,
curious
not,
if you
not
put
really.
it
Not at all.
a little bit. Yeah, I
No.
would say it did.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe a slight add of opacity.
Wow.
God, that's just
Albert, can you hand me
that's-
the water? I'm gonna try
that's
it.
a beautiful
that,
thing.
That opened
Well,
up.
yeah,
that
I was
opened up.
Oh,
trying
no,
to
do your
get-
thing.
'cause I
It was
know-
good before. It's
Now
even
I
better.
get
about
more
adding
smoke and
water.
peat now
Yeah.
than I did before that.
I'm getting that. I'm
taking
not
my
getting
time
that real.
because-
I'm not getting that pepper.
You can add
Right.
some water.
Okay,
you
but
can't
I'm
unadd
definitely-
the
I'm
water,
definitely
you know?
getting,
So I only put a few drops in.
Very honey smoke, campfire, so to say. I like it. Yeah, it's really good.
Gosh, dang, that is good.
All right.
I'm impressed actually.
Did you do the palate yet?
I
Here,
did not.
sorry.
Okay.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Thank you. So palate, sweet and spicy, burnt oak staves.
Okay.
Totally see that.
Yeah.
Taste that.
Yeah.
Again, marshmallows. But they say barbecued marshmallows. Like
Yeah.
not with barbecue sauce, but I would think like
Open
smoked,
fire.
open fire.
That's the campfire
Yeah.
marshmallows.
Yeah.
I get it. It reminds me a lot of this nightcap here. It really does. Like just the campfire thing.
It
I
does.
would
You're
agree.
right. Yeah, I
would
agree with that.
It's a good pairing.
That was
actually.
that was a good call for you.
I'm really glad I picked this.
Well, you
tobacco.
Let me try
recognize
it.
that.
Let me do a little of that.
Absolutely.
Because we remember the scent
He
kit?
said he brought that because of this. So
Nightcap.
I know, that's great. That's a great selection. Albert.
that was Albert. That was a great call that you did. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Brings out the smoke a little bit more.
I did. I love it. I love it.
Also has
Okay.
roasted coffee fudge cream, sticky toffee pudding, and a hint of white pepper and crushed cinnamon.
Pepper.
So when he
You
when
said pepper, and I was thinking, more white pepper.
so when you re-smell this now that you drink this, you're gonna get that barbecue
Yeah.
smokiness. I'm not kidding you. Like
Yeah.
that is
Oh, wow.
that is definitely when we're done cooking
Right. That's
in the cooker.
scent you
That's
get.
all you smell
delicious.
is that exactly that.
Water's kind of a
You
game
get that
changer.
barbecue. That do you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I know exactly
I know
what
exactly.
you're talking about.
Excellent call, guys.
Yeah.
Look at
Excellent.
you.
Okay, well, I'm still very excited. This has got me excited. So
what's the-
before we score, let's just take, for the benefit of the audience, let's take one
we do
more
the
ride
finish?
on the bottle cam.
Hang on. Oh, go ahead. We gotta do the finish up.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Sorry.
bad. I'm rushing things.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to rush it.
No, that's okay.
All
The
right.
finish,
You're Irish. You don't have to be Russian. Come on.
That's right.
the finish is awfully short. In description,
Yeah.
not in
It's a
flavor.
long finish.
I think it's a long finish.
It is a long finish. The description is short. It's floral with spicy oak tannins, iodine, and sea salt.
I could see some salt in there.
Oh, definitely.
I could
could
see
see
some
some salt.
And I
iodine.
definitely, it's an Isla, so a little bit of the ocean is always there.
It's excellent.
Man, okay, this is just reaffirmed why I love Isla whiskeys.
We're gonna have to put a little bit of that in that bottle, son.
Definitely, the Brovern on the high-low will enjoy that for sure. So,
So
All right.
bottle cam time.
Bottle cam.
let's take another ride on the bottle cam. We'll see you in just a
Hey
second.
everyone,
Alright.
it's time for the bottle cam. The bottle cam.
Oh, I didn't show any pictures of them.
Intruder alert.
Okay, sure, if you want.
Can you add it without taking fluid out?
Good.
No, I was gonna say, you put this in.
Oh no.
Here he goes.
Sorry.
How does everyone's hearing?
Did anybody
feel
hear
in?
that?
Everybody hear that?
It's only a problem if they're wearing headphones.
Oofa. Got it?
Got it.
Got it.
Sorry, kids.
No, I was going to say, here's a picture of the distillery that Doug got for me. Absolutely gorgeous.
Very nice.
And then here's another view of the distillery.
I remember.
And surprise, it's on the ocean.
I remember last year and some this year when you did some of those pictures. I remember seeing that Laphroaig distillery on
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah, very nice.
So,
Beautiful. Beautiful territory.
exactly. So, I've been to Scotland a couple times, but not yet to Islay, which is to me the mecca of whiskey. So I will. It's on my next trip. I will not go to Scotland again without spending a good amount of at least a day or two in Islay. So I'd like to visit all the distilleries on
I'm gonna
Islay.
follow you right up that tree.
Okay,
sir.
yeah, we might organize
Sounds
a whiskey round table trip.
Obviously, my wife will come.
Yeah, that would be
Something else,
fantastic.
It's gonna happen.
So
With the water in there. Holy smokes.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
I liked it both ways.
It's two great drinks.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is. It's
I
two
loved
great
it
drinks.
both ways. I
do
would
too.
continue to have it neat for a while and then put some water in it. It's a lot of fun. It's just a fun whiskey. It's a beautiful whiskey. To me, it's why it kind of is Scotland in a glass. It's why I like Islay whiskeys. It's got. You got to have the peat. You got to have that smoke. To me, those are the things that are most quintessentially Scottish about Scottish whiskey, because a lot of whiskeys have barley. Barley they can get from Germany. They grow a lot on Islay, but barley and is still kind of universal. But the peat, the peat smoking is really a Scottish thing. So
Guys, I gotta
Awesome.
say, it's good to be back here. It's not the whiskey
No, but
talking.
hey.
It's not the whiskey talking. I miss that, like the four of us. It's
Right.
good to be back on the podcast, and just this is what it's truly about. Just being natural,
Right.
talking is coming out very natural. Just having a good time, just talking, enjoying.
You
and
should
really
do this show more than once a
loving
year.
loving whiskey.
Killing me.
That's what we're about.
See how he is?
Very good. It is. It's. Are we going to do this scoring?
Yeah, let's do the scoring. Well,
Where
I'm
do we
going to let
start?
our guest, because he's clarified the scoring, and I'm going to let Albert go first.
right out of the gate. I gotta be honest. Like to pontificate where Greg left off a moment ago. He said this is a 2 drink. It's like 2 drinks in one. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a 4 to me. And I know we hang around in the 3s, whatever, but like to me, this is something that has to be on the shelf. I think this is something you want
Yeah.
to add in your collection.
Sorry, kids. I'll do that.
I agree with that. I agree. Well, I don't want to say what I'm going to score, but
Well, you want to go next?
I
We'll
guess
go around the
I
table?
should. I agree with Albert. I mean, this is something I want to have at all times. I don't know how hard this is to get. You see the Laphroaig 10, I see Laphroaig, but the cast strength, honestly, I don't have any idea how rare or easy to obtain this is, but I would love to have it at all times in my collection. I think this is one of the best whiskeys I've ever had.
Wow, that says a
And,
lot.
This for me is a 4.7.
Ooh,
Woo!
wow.
It's now in my it's definitely in my top 5 whiskeys I've ever had. So
That says a lot.
yeah,
That's a
and I've never had this. At least I don't know if you've ever given this to me when we were here late at night going through a
I
bunch
actually gave a bottle to somebody that wanted a bottle, and I tried it one time with him, and it was very pleasing, and that's why I wanted to get another one. And I know that he still has that bottle, and he drinks it sparingly to my expense.
Yeah.
But anyway, move along, kids.
So,
Nothing to
yeah.
say.
Nothing to see here.
Now again,
Shout out to Rob DeGassi.
let's remind everybody that 10 years for a Scotch whiskey is a single malt is kind of young. But this is one of the best whiskeys I've ever had.
That's great.
So age isn't everything. It's all that goes with it, and how it's made, and the skill with which it's made. So, I'm curious to try it at one of their 18s or something. I need to explore them a lot more, obviously. So, okay, Karen, it's up to you.
So we're on to me. So I'm going to answer one of your questions. According to the Laphroaig website, it is sold out and not available. That's on the Laphroaig website. Not sure if you can find it elsewhere.
Okay, well, I got to give that one of these.
And it sells for about $59.60.
It's like
pounds.
$66 or something I saw,
So yeah,
but 66 pounds would be more like $80,
So,
75.
So I know my brother Stephen is listening. I know you're coming up for Thanksgiving, so what's my chances of 2 more bottles of that if you could get that sooner than later and keep them for me till you
That would
fly
be
up?
if Steve could do that.
So if you can handle that, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, go ahead.
So Karen,
yeah.
score?
So my score, and I think I'm going to surprise all you guys.
2.2.
Definitely not for a new Scotch drinker.
Right, it wouldn't
New
be the
whiskey drinker
first,
at all.
If you had a first, I want to try Scotch. I've never tried it. This is probably not the one you'd give them, but
I would agree. You definitely have to build up to this, because I remember trying a Laphroaig years ago, and I took a sip and I gave you the rest of it because I couldn't handle it anymore.
did you make a medicine face?
I did, definitely. But tonight, I'm going to give it a 4.1.
Wow! Karen, a 4.1 on a heavy 120 proof Isla whiskey. Wow.
I'm turning into a Scotch girl.
You
I
are
told
turning
you that.
into a
She know
Scotch
just
girl.
what to do.
You know just what to do.
You know what? I'm not surprised. I saw that coming. I kind of thought
Did you?
we would. Yeah, I thought we would be able to graduate you. I just kind of had a good
graduated.
feeling. Good feeling about that.
I also graduated.
Awesome.
And well, you were already a big whiskey fan,
Yeah,
Scotch
that's true.
fan when I met you. So.
It was.
What do you
My turn.
think?
Well, you know I'm not a Scotch guy,
You are not.
and I don't like a lot of Scotches. I probably don't like more Scotches than I do like. So, with all that being said, I'm a 4.6.
Holy
Okay.
crap!
So I gotta do that again. Okay. 4.6.
Wow.
Now I haven't done the math yet, but I'm gonna say that this is the highest score when you do the average that we've ever had.
Probably right. What about
Yeah.
the kids out there?
Yeah.
You guys want to give
You guys
anybody
want to
else?
give a score?
What about out in the
You
audience?
didn't like it, huh?
No, I like it.
I saw you licking the glass.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so heavily peaty smoky that I can't
No.
tolerate it.
It's very pleasant.
And even on the first taste, I mean, it was very burny for me. But as soon as I added the water, it was good.
So what if you had to score it? What would you score?
I don't know how to score very well.
Yeah.
Would you buy it?
She's really
I
just.
would have another dram of it,
Okay.
but sparingly. You know, like it's
I
not like
understand.
I'd go to it. All
Should I
the
put you
time.
down for
You
like
know-
a 3.2?
You know what I dig about this show is historically speaking, everyone has different palates.
Sure,
Let's just
absolutely.
clear the air here. And it's always varied. Like at least when I've been on the show, that what I like most about this scoring, if you will, we've all hung out like right. We're all on the same page.
Right.
So there's
Yeah.
a consistency here, which is something to be,
No, it's great.
Set.
It's fantastic. I do think it's. I don't think
it's pretty good.
I'm predicting this is definitely the highest
awesome.
scored whiskey when we average everybody. What about you, Elliot? What did you think?
I normally do not like the iodine,
You're not into the really.
but I didn't taste it in this.
It's just a little bit.
I didn't
maybe,
taste it at
but
all.
yeah.
It has a really long, nice taste that lasts.
Sure.
And swirling it around in your mouth, it's a great thing to sip.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly nothing that you're going to chug.
And you've never had anything like this before, have
No.
you? Yeah.
I give it a 3.5.
All right.
Okay.
That's
All right.
respectable.
Okay.
What about you, girlfriend?
I would make it a 3.7.
3.7.
There we
Okay.
go. All right.
All
If
right.
somebody was to give me a bottle, I'd drink it.
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
No,
that's
yeah.
great.
No,
Well, no, thank you guys for that. So we're kind of celebrating Isla tonight, and so tonight's Whiskey Wizard is, well, the title is Isla. So
When do you want to do the scroll before we
Sure.
release?
Sure, I can do that. Jennifer Bogg says she is already on the lookout for Basil Hayden's Toasted.
okay.
Your bows. I thought you were talking about music. Your nose is always way different from your taste.
Absolutely.
Jennifer Bogg says it sounds right up her alley.
This is
Time she comes.
yeah, this is a great whiskey.
She tried an MB Roland Dark Fired this week, and it had that same smoky profile.
That's really good.
And speaking of that, Jennifer gave me a peated bourbon, and I have not. I've been saving it for the next time maybe that she's back, and maybe we'll do that as our featured whiskey. But I'm curious. I'm really curious now, more and more, what a peated bourbon would be like. So
Ooh, that sounds different.
it sounds yucky on some level, but I just kind of have a feeling it might not be. So it'll be an interesting one to try for our audience. So.
All right. Should we go into the wizard?
Yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead.
You want to set it up a little bit? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna take a little trip to Isla, celebrating the Isla Scottish whiskey region, and so we'll see in about.
Let's take a trip to the Whiskey Wizard, man.
All right.
See you in a few minutes, kids.
See you in a bit.
All right. Bye-bye.
It's the Whiskey Wizard.
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. So it's Scotch Whiskey Month on the Whiskey Roundtable, and tonight we're going to discuss the Isla region of Scotland. You know, where you come from can sometimes have a huge impact on who you are, and the same can be said for whiskey. And that's particularly true with Scotch whiskey. Origin correlates with certain defining characteristics that will appeal to different people and their tastes. Where a whiskey is made can also tell you how it was made, how long it was left to mature, and where the barley used in the whiskey came from. Islay whiskeys taste quite a bit different from other whiskey regions. And I've noted that one island whiskey, or part of the Highlands even, can differ enough from one another to tell them apart. Islay whiskey is my favorite Scottish whiskey region, and that's why we're doing this whole episode on it. Islay is one of the southernmost of the Inner Hebridean Islands, located off the west coast of Scotland. Islay is one of 5 whiskey distilling localities and regions in Scotland whose identity is protected by law. If you meet up with an Islay whiskey, you'll likely note its peaty, smoky aroma. Classic examples include Laphroaig, Lagavulin, and Ardbeg. In total, there are 9 active distilleries on the island, with 1 recently completed. Islay measures only 25 by 15 miles, and the whiskey industry is Islay's second largest employer after agriculture. Islay is a mecca of Scotch whiskey tourism and hosts a festival of malt and music each year on the last week of May, with events and tastings celebrating the cultural heritage of the island. Some sources indicate that Irish monks may have been the first to distill whiskey on the island in the early 1300s. Again, geographically, Islay is quite close to Northern Ireland. Islay was known for ages as being a fertile island for growing barley, with excellent pure water sources and plenty of peat. The island had everything in favor to distill whiskey. Islay is very largely composed of peat, layer upon layer of sphagnum mosses and other bog vegetation that have been rotting away for millennia and created the dense black banks of peat, which are used for fuel and most notably for making whiskey, as it is used for drying barley during the malting process, adding this pungent aromatic quality to the whiskey. I'm told that most of the water on Islay is brown, even the water in the burns and glens is brown, and winter gales drive salt spray far inland, and this saturates the peat, which is dried again by the briny sea breeze. According to Visit Scotland, most of Islay's original distilleries started as small farm efforts hid in remote areas, even caves, in the 17th century to evade the king's taxman when he came around. Of course, Islay has great reserves of peat, which has been the principal fuel source for its inhabitants for centuries. Islay's 8 older distilleries all likely began as small, illicit producers. All were built near water since grain was shipped on boats and the finished whiskey was transported via water. For a long time, Islay whiskey was primarily aged in sherry casks, but in the 1900s, bourbon casks from the U.S. became the prominent choice, and this remains the case today. Port Ellen Malting does most of the barley malting on the island these days, custom malting to each distillery's unique specifications, although Laphroaig, Bowmore, and Kilcolman still have their own malting floors. The whiskies of the distilleries along the southeastern coast of the island, Laphroaig, Lagavulin, and Ardbeg, have a smoky character derived from this peat, considered to be a central characteristic of the Islay malts. And it's also said to find its way into the water from which the whiskey is made, but mostly peating levels come from the peat smoke used to dry the malted barley. Many say Islay peated whiskeys have a medicinal flavor. I get that, I guess, and they also can be noted to possess notes of iodine, seaweed, and sea salt. Colilla on the northern side of the island, across from Jura, also produces a strongly peated whiskey. Colilla is my favorite Scottish distillery. While the whiskeys they make do have the peated quality I like, they're also lightly colored, delicate, and complex whiskeys that defy categorization. Except, of course, that Islay is clearly in their DNA. They offer intriguing subtlety and richness. The Colilla 18 is perhaps my favorite whiskey of all, meaning, I guess, it is a 5 on the Whiskey Roundtable rating scale. It is noteworthy that trees on Isla are scattered and the peat is free of rotting wood. Normal peat bogs are invaded by trees, and periodic fires kill the encroaching tree line. Isla peat is considered to be simply the best for Scots production. The other distilleries on the island include Clunahabahane, which makes much lighter whiskeys that are more lightly peated. Bowmore, which began in 1779, produces a whiskey which is well balanced, using a medium strong peating level at 25 parts per million, but also favors using sherry cask maturation. The Kilchoman distillery is relatively new, starting up in 2005. It is in a location unlike other distilleries, which are all by the sea. I like their deeply stated Isla character, dark, full-bodied, earthy, and oceanic. The newest distillery on Isla is Ardnahoe, the island's 9th, which opened in 2019. Of course, Laphroaig and Ardbeg are considered by many to be quintessential Isla. Richly peated with soft but persistent smoke presence and seaside brine. But like many Islas, this spirited quality is typically balanced by vanilla, caramel, rich oak, and light orchard fruits. We must mention Lagavulin. Lagavulin has these qualities, but with a more pronounced smoke, peat, and sea salt. It reminds me of being beside a campfire on a windy seaside cliff, enjoying a sweet biscuit with dried beef and smoked oysters. You simply have to taste it to believe it. For many Scotch lovers, the Lagavulin 16 defines the peaty, smoky, full-bodied end of the whiskey flavor continuum. To me, if you want complexity in your whiskey, you'd better experience what these Isla whiskeys have to offer. I admit they are not for everyone, but I've noticed the longer someone has been into Scottish whiskey, the more likely it is they'll rank Isla whiskeys among their favorites. This is Douglas Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard, for the Whiskey Round Table. Cheers, Slàinte mhath, and now... oh my. Back to the live show.
Good.
Right. So
All
we're
right,
back.
kids, we're back.
So you had a request while we were off doing the wizard was to show off your shirt today.
Malt whiskey. Let's see.
Instead
Malt
of
whiskey.
Walt Disney.
Nice.
Very cool.
All right.
Your daughter got you that, huh?
Yes.
Do
Very
they
cool.
serve alcohol?
And then this.
I heard they do.
My pre-show drink, the Offerman 11-year-old Lagavulin, also
Nice.
was a gift. So yes, enjoying that. So
while we were away, we all got another pour
of
the
this
Laphroaig
fabulous
10.
whiskey. Yes.
And we talked about this a lot behind the scenes here. We're all very pleased with it.
Yes.
Pleasantly surprised. We were a little. Well, I was afraid. You were just very curious.
Very excited because I've never had 120 proof Isla whiskey before. I enjoy Isla whiskeys. It's my wheelhouse, but I didn't know what to expect. Yeah, and this did not disappoint. Obviously,
I mean, for $1.20 a proof, I mean, wow,
It doesn't taste like
No.
it. I'm sure
No.
if you sit and drink a while and you go to get up, you're going to be like, holy crap.
No, you might
But-
notice it that way, but taste wise, even on the nose, I didn't get a heavy, I didn't get that alcohol that just kind of smacks you
Right.
and kind of deadens all your senses. There's nothing like that. So
It was very good.
Yeah, I
No doubt about it.
do enjoy it. Scroll is kind of quiet.
Yeah.
I did get some kudos for developing my palate from Steve and Jen Boggs.
Steve still on there?
Yeah,
Steve is
I-
Steve, I want 2 more of those bottles. Quit playing.
That's right. Don't slack,
Don't
Steve.
quit slacking, Steve.
Jennifer Boggs is in for a Scotland trip as well. She's
Oh,
inviting
boy.
herself.
I
LOL.
think we need to organize a whiskey roundtable trip. Sean and I will put it out there, and in the future, and we'll start working backwards and try to get everybody on board.
Awesome.
I'm in.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
I'm in.
All right.
You have to
kids.
spend at least 2 nights in Isla, though. That's my only condition.
That's fine. I just have to find one of those dark pubs that we can go sit in, like, you know.
In Edinburgh is a pub that is the oldest or the longest open pub in the world. It's been open since the 1500s, and it's
Sweet.
still in operation in the same location today.
See, that would be perfect because I already went to the oldest tavern in the United States, which is in Boston, which is one
Yeah.
of my favorites.
Right.
I can't remember the name right now. I can't believe it. I'm
Yeah,
such a
and
dork.
I remember it was kind of on the. You talking about the one that was at the.
Yeah, we pregame there
Yeah,
before
yeah,
we
we
went
did.
to the
Yeah.
Fenway Park game with the Indians.
It was good.
One of my favorite places. Bell in Hand Tavern.
Yes.
One of my favorite
Yeah,
places.
yeah.
So yeah, it's only fair that if I go overseas that I have to visit the oldest pub there.
Oh, well, that'll be
Take a
definitely
later,
on our stops.
Got it?
I can't
See,
remember the
struggling
name
over
of it. Cameron, if he
We'll
was
revamp
watching,
it.
I know would remember. It's the
Something world.
yes, end of the world or something. Yeah, something like that. Anyway,
A trip all about drinking.
well, we are kind of up against. It's already 8:30 here.
Well,
gang,
let's call it a day.
so
Do we
it's
want
just
to-
another week once again.
We haven't done any news.
That's
We
all
have
right.
not done news. And
Let's move on. Time to move on, kids.
Okay, Greg says.
I got a busy day tomorrow. No,
Okay,
No.
Greg's kicking us out here.
Keeping
All
the
right.
show moving.
All right. So again, thanks to everyone for watching. If you're watching live, all 3 of you, and or if you're watching this later on, let's hope a lot more people do. Remember, if you missed the live show, please watch it when it's convenient. It's your views that help keep this thing going for sure. So, yeah. So we'll be off. We'll be back next week. And we'll wrap up single
Scotch
malt
month.
and Scottish whiskey month.
And then we'll be off for 2 weeks.
We have some special stuff hopefully happening for our final Scotch whiskey show next week. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page if you haven't already. I think the 120 proof is kicking in. And if you have questions or comments, talk to us on Facebook or email us at thewhiskeyroundtable@gmail.com. So my closing quote for tonight comes from Compton Mackenzie. He's a proud Scottish writer, and he says, well, I actually have 2 quotes tonight. His quote is, "Whiskey is necessary for a person so that they can have a good opinion of themselves, undisturbed be the facts."
You talk like me when I'm all drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Shauna, you're driving, right?
Yes. Okay, and I also want to say I have a second quote tonight,
Okay.
and this quote comes from whiskey itself.
Oh, shit.
It says, "Go ahead, you can kick his ass." All right, well, that's all we have for
All
tonight.
right, Steve, I don't know if Mom and Dad are watching. If they are,
Dad's watching.
Dad, love you, miss you. I hope we see you before the weather changes. And we'll have some good food, that's for sure. But I appreciate you all watching the show, and we'll catch you cats next week. All right? So we are the Whiskey Roundtable. Big G.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
Live from Cleveland, it's Albert.
Elliot and Shauna. Thanks for joining us today. Guys, safe weekend. Enjoy it while you can. The trees are starting to change up here. All right, catch you later. Bye-bye.
If whiskey stopped working, every bar in town would be closing their doors, shutting down. Everybody would be trapped with their thoughts, 'cause nothing else would pay like bourbon or scotch. Oh no, oh no, no. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. If whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped. Jameson and Bean would be cut off. Hank Williams songs wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this whole damn world would be a mess. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably wasting lots of money trying therapy. If whiskey stopped working, what the hell would I do? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be over you. Whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped working, oh, whiskey stopped working, if whiskey stopped, oh. If whiskey stopped working, where the hell would I be? Probably halfway out of this town, leaving Tennessee.